What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what the hell is happening today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. SoFi right now, there's about 20 minutes left in the trading day, is up 7.14%, 764 the low, $8.30 as the high. So there was a lot of FOMO and just optimism when it comes down to SoFi. And yes, the broader market is green, but SoFi definitely is standing out. No actual news from the company itself, no SEC filings. Rather, what is really pushing SoFi higher is just optimism associated to Nvidia's earnings, but more specifically, Affirm's earnings. So Affirm did unveil their earnings after hours yesterday, and they did signal that despite higher interest rates, people have been out there getting loans and so far have been doing a fairly good job. So once again, kind of shows that the consumer side is very good. You did have some data that did come out this morning as well. So you had GDP and also initial jobless claims better than anticipated. So initial jobless claims came in at 231, forecast 232, and then GDP came in at 3% versus 2.8. Everything kind of pointing to a very strong economy, and that directly is going to really help SoFi. So I think all in all, that is kind of a good thing. Based on today's data, you didn't really have all that much in change for this. So 67.5% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut, and most likely that is going to occur. Like I've stated in the past, I think pretty much from now until September 18th, whatever comes out data point wise isn't really going to change this. We're at least going to have a 25 basis point cut, then potentially a 50 maybe for the November 7th one, as you can kind of see right here. So I think all in all, that is pretty good stuff. Aside from that though, you do see a lot of volume. So 74.7 million shares being traded, 41.2 is the average. You do see a lot of big money or big transactions today. So these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000 based on the bid, the ask, and selling price. Pretty much everything is buys. Everything that does show us an ask is a buy. So a lot of big money getting in, a couple big ones as well. So 1.23 million. So I think this is generally a very good situation that is happening. And a lot of the data points, in fact, today is very optimistic and kind of signaling a continuation of the run. Based on this, these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. Dark pool is often enough linked to shorting. So I'll give you guys an overview of that in a second. So you do see a couple big ones here as well. So 1.72 million, 1.73, a couple ones first thing as well. So 3.12, and you guys can see the rest. My apologies if I'm going a little bit too fast. Quickly moving over to Ortex to give you guys an overview of what shorts are doing. So right now, shorts are returning around 648,000 shares. So that is net, kind of breaking the trend of what has really been happening. 17.83% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 186.65 million shares overall are being shorted. Today is also something abnormal that is happening. Whenever you've had a lot of optimism in the broader market and SoFi tends to really move higher, you usually see this kind of having some sort of manipulation. So either the cost to borrow minimum or the average is negative. You're not seeing that. So in my opinion, this might be kind of that pivot point where shorts start to really admit defeat, and that SoFi most likely is going to continue this good momentum higher. So once again, that's something to keep in mind. Like I said, a lot of money as well as getting into SoFi through options. $18 million in calls so far today. That's not counting the rest of the 20 minutes in the trading day. And then 4.06 million in puts. Sentiment wise, 50% of all the options being done today are optimistic. And this is kind of the current layout for the calls that are being purchased. So you do see a consensus for it to be above $8.50. And there is a abnormal amount right here. So for the January 17th, 2025, you see a good kind of likelihood of it being in excess of $10 by January. So I see that as pretty good. A lot more optimism, like I said. This is the current layout for the open interest. So you have 10,000 at that 7, 30,000 at that 750, and then 32,000 at that 8. So right now, SoFi is above that $8 mark. So if tomorrow we have that continuation of good momentum, whether it be because of PCE or just the broader market, then you'll definitely have a little bit of a nice pop on Tuesday. Monday is a holiday on a side note. So yeah, it should be a very good time to be a SoFi investor. So let me know your thoughts on that. As of right now, with it at 803, it is currently trading between this R1 and this R2. So 798 is going to be the strong support that you'll want to watch for it to hold. On the flip side, $8.43, it's going to be that next strong resistance / target. Didn't really have enough to touch that today. Maybe it might touch that tomorrow with, again, good PCE, but we'll just have to wait and see. Nonetheless, though, I don't think any SoFi investors complaining about today because, yeah, it being up 7%, outperforming the broader market, is deserving of a round of applause. You do see number of retail investors getting in today. Stochastic, you do still see it as rather overbought. As I said in the past, first sign of weakness, you could see a pullback associated to that, but I think right now, nothing specific to SoFi is going to cause that unless PCE tomorrow. And I brought that up like 4 times already because that is a kind of a big deal, right? The Feds are going to be really correlating that with interest rate cuts, and that seems to be the next big thing. But based on a firm's earnings, it doesn't really matter about the higher interest rates right now. Consumers are still out there getting loans and paying them off. So I think generally shows consumers are maybe a little bit stronger than what previous data did signal. And right now it is higher percentile of the Bollinger Band as well. So like I said, I think SoFi is a lot of the data points that I mentioned are very optimistic. So shorts returning, very optimistic. The options is next level stuff, so that is very, very good. And as well, the technicals are cautiously optimistic, so still kind of pointing to higher highs coming. And like I said, if you kind of look at this right here at the open interest, you do see a very good likelihood of it being around that $10 range by January. In fact, there's 118,000 in open interest as of right now. Even for the January 16th, 2026, there's 127,000 for that. Then 148,000 at that 15. So a lot of optimism. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and give yourself a shout out. Did you buy today? Did you sell? Did you guys do options? Because if you guys would have sold covered calls, depending on your strike price, you might have got caught a little bit today, but that's kind of the name of the game, right? You win some, you lose some. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.